Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ghost Chronicles. Morning edition. It's one of those damn shows. Yes. Right here on the net and the net, the net, New England Talks.
The net New England Talk.
Yeah, also they got a tickle. It's not good. I'm Ron Kolek, host. And by the way, we are going out over the airway on 102.9 FM HD2.
Yes, we are.
So if you got... and
we made it on time and everything.
As we did.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll be back on TogiNet if they ever get their act together. So anyways, I am Ron Kolek, your host. And of course, with me is the Professor Lou Balassi. And our special guest today is the EVP specialist for the New England Ghost Project. And you can see his shirt right there. Mr. Jim. I used to call you Stoner.
Yeah, I never got my name. It took about 3 years.
Yeah, probably. Jim Stonier, which is, I don't know, the Renaissance man of the NEGP. He flies. He makes wine. I don't know.
Flies? You're a pilot, Jim?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
But, yeah, in fact, Jim and I, in the rest of our team, when God bless Dan Parson, he got us aboard a couple of, what were they, B-17s?
One was a B-17. I think the other was a B-24.
And we were able to do an investigation on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I did a flight on a B-17 out of Lawrence here, a media flight.
Jim, tell them about it.
I've done that too.
Oh.
I got to fly in it for 3 hours when we...
oh, nice.
I volunteered for the weekend, and they chose names, and I was one of the lucky ones. We got to fly it from Lawrence to Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a long, loud flight.
Yeah, it was, but it was worth it.
But didn't you get to go in like the deer thingy?
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got into the gunner's glass at the front and took us out to the coast and up and down the coast, Plum Island stuff. It was gorgeous. But it was loud.
Yeah, well, when I flew, I was sitting right behind the pilot, and the crew chief says, as soon as we're off the ground, they're going to give you a signal. You go up front. So, as soon as the wheels are off the ground, it was down through that tunnel. I, sat in the bombardier seat for the rest of the takeoff. It was great.
Yeah, beautiful.
We were off the ground, though, so it was legal.
But you understand, right? After you've done this flight on these things, you understand what men these guys were. I mean, going up and spending hours in these planes and getting shot at and freezing their butts off and everything else.
A member of our chapter, has since just recently passed away. He was in his 90s. John Katsaros was a waist gunner in a B-17. Got shot down over France, was captured. The resistance broke him out, freed him. He got captured again. They got him out again, and he, long story short, he escaped over the Pyrenees into Spain. So he's got a book out called Code Burgundy. It's well worth a read.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. A lot of these guys were not of tall stature because of the cramped quarters.
Oh, John actually was. He was like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, but a majority of them weren't. And in fact, even the same way on the submarine, they try not to take anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
yeah, that's the other thing. The Albacore up in Portsmouth. You get on and you're thinking of these kids. I mean, that's post World War II, the Albacore, but just these kids going up in these planes and going on these ships and just doing what they're doing. Those people were men. When they say greatest generation, they weren't kidding.
Yeah. If you're looking for something to do, the Albacore is a fun thing. It's something to and go on. It's an not an all day thing, but it's nice. Nope. You can go in and everything else. And I think when Steve comes back over here, I'm going to take him down to Battleship Cove too, because that's a blast too as well.
I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, they have a submarine there too, I believe. Yeah, right. But it's a cool place. The other place that my son took me for my birthday a couple of years ago was the American Heritage Museum out in West. I think it's Avon or something. That is
the Collins Foundation.
Wicked cool. They've got Stuckers there. They've got do they have a Stucker or is it Mercer Smith? I can't remember now. Shit. But it's one of those planes, German planes. They have every vehicle, and it's awesome. It's just awesome. It was like a kid in a candy.
I've been applying since the day I saw them. I've been applying for a media flight on the Blue Angels forever, and it's like they're probably going to accept me when I'm like 70 and can't.
I have no. I don't like flying, so I don't think I would do that.
Yeah. The Blue Angels are just. I fell in love with them the first time I saw them.
That probably
great.
I probably puked though. That's
I would. No, definitely.
I mean, that's
and pass out. Probably pass out and then puke. I don't know, one or the other.
I mean, I've always faced my fears, and that's something I did because I had phobias when I was young. But I used to be scared of dogs, but I faced them. I said, I'm not going to let that run my life, and I've done that with other things. Even the heights. I used to be not afraid of heights.
I'm not good with heights,
but I faced it. I don't particularly like heights. I'm not going to say, "Ooh, this is great," but I can do it. The lighthouse and everything. I want to hear the weirdest thing.
Well, I went through flight school, and I had a few hours because I had a friend when I was younger. Yeah, when I was younger, I had a friend. His father was a pilot, and we built a very light together and worked on it. And he took me out for some hours and stuff like that. But then I kept thinking, I can't keep a car running, and I'm looking at all these planes I'm flying in. Cars break down. I'm not going to go up in the air in this thing.
You want to hear a weird thing, and I don't think you were with us then, Jim. Did you do Borden Flats Lighthouse?
No.
With Karen and Leslie and myself?
Nope.
No, that was interesting, because I had like total phobia people. Karen was afraid of everything, and you have to climb up a ladder to get to the lighthouse, and she was like panicking on that, so I deal with that. And then Leslie doesn't like heights; she's scared of heights. So we went up on the rail in the lighthouse and everything else. And, I'm on the board of the Portsmouth Harbor lighthouses. I go to a lot of lighthouses, been to Whaleback many the time and everything. I say I'm not overly fond of heights, but I can deal with it. I got up there, I became petrified. And what I was actually picking up was Leslie. It was just
her feelings.
Yeah, because almost an empathic feeling. Because, like I said, I could handle anything, and Borden wasn't even that high up.
Where is that?
That's God, where the hell was that? New Bedford. It's a spark plug lighthouse, which is basically a big tube of water.
See, I'm okay on a building. I don't mind heights if I'm standing on the railing of a lighthouse or a balcony on a building. That doesn't bother me. Yeah. Things like ski lifts, trams.
Oh, see, that wouldn't bother me.
Roller coasters, that stuff drives me nuts. Yeah.
Roller coasters I used to be afraid of. That's another one I overcame. I look at it.
Yeah.
But I just never had a great stomach.
These freaking ski lift people. I don't understand how they do it.
I remember when I was on a stupid Ferris wheel with a girl.
Oh, Ferris wheel.
And I puked.
Yeah.
So here I am, move. And the girl
on
a Ferris wheel for the freaking turn. Oh God, that was good. I was a kid back then. Oh. Anyways, Jim, glad you joined us. I don't know how we went down that dark road, but Jim, as I said, was the EVP specialist for the NEGP. You've been for how long now, Jim?
2007.
2007. And what was your first investigation? You remember that as official team member? He's like my right hand man now, too, by the way.
I think it might have been. We did the Sprague Mansion in Rhode Island.
Oh, that was good.
Famous doll closet place.
Oh, yeah. Which we talked about on Patreon. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go join us on Patreon.
In the basement with somebody.
You see the secret. Now we can talk about that. And by the way, this is also in my latest book with Maureen, more Ghost Chronicles. This whole incident. But the wine cellar was good because there was a wine cellar in the base of the mansion that they caught glimpses, pictures of strange mists in there and everything else.
See, psychology is spirit. If I'm a spirit, I'm hanging out in the wine cellar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's no wine in there, so it wasn't.
Why not?
So, you want to take it from there, Jim?
Yeah. So they locked me in a wine cellar with somebody. I won't mention her name.
Okay, absolutely. That was what's her face?
It was
Molly Gibson. Yeah.
And they had a camera on us, one of the IR cameras, and we're supposed to be down there trying to do EVPs.
And we're connected with radio.
Yeah, radio. And Mr. Kolek there keeps saying, Molly, there's something over your shoulder. This and that.
What's that? I didn't do it. I didn't do it scary like. I said, It looks like something over your shoulder. Can you see it? It looks like it's getting closer. You don't see it?
It's so bad.
She freaks. You know, and I'm trying to do EVPs, and she just kept talking. And you could actually hear voices in the background trying to get through, but they can't because she's talking over them. So I really got nothing out of that.
We're like whimpering over them.
An EVP, will you get her to quiet down?
Yeah.
Talk to people.
And that was going on over the air because that was our Halloween broadcast, which we did worldwide through, at that time, it was through TogiNet, but also we were with Ghost Village, which was the largest paranormal site on the net. Maybe still is, I'm not sure. But yeah, we actually crashed Ghost Village, which was
nice.
Good. Yeah.
but nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We were proud of it. It was a lot of fun. In fact, when we were supposed to start the show, right, we got contacted by Channel 10. I think it was NBC in Providence. Yeah, Providence. So Maureen and I had to go on the air. So we were supposed to do the show at the same time. So what we did is we pre-taped the opening. Do you remember that? I came across that the other day, by the way.
Oh, really?
Which I'm going to upload to Patreon, I think, for our Patreon listeners. But the video never came out, but the audio did. The place was, because of this broadcast, I actually brought in cable. I had cable turned on in that place, actually installed in that place for this event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was good. We've had some good times.
Yeah, well, remember the incident with the food on the way home?
Oh God, you and your freaking what are they, Rhode Island?
Rhode Island has hot wieners. You ever have one, Lou?
I've not had a hot wiener.
Oh
no.
God.
Oh. Yeah,
I don't want to be around.
I'm not allowed to eat them in the house or in the car.
Is the hotness in the wiener or what you put on top of it?
It's all the toppings and stuff,
Okay.
onions and meat sauce, but yeah, you suffered. Who suffered on the way home with Ron Jr.? Was that you?
Ron Jr. came with Maureen and I. So yeah. You talk about gaseous clay. God, Maureen and I had our heads out the freaking window while she's driving, trying to save us from this freaking. I think the paint was peeling on the freaking car.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, if you say so.
I had some a week ago, and the car still smells. So.
Yeah. Why do you do that to your body? I don't understand.
Remember the one we went to the mill? How cold that was.
Freaking coldest investigation I ever did in my life. I mean, yeah, that was in February on the absolutely the coldest day of the year. Temperatures never got up above freezing. Actually, it was below freezing. I think it was
below freezing.
Yeah.
Was this outdoors?
No, it was a mill. A mill that was shut down. They were taking it apart.
Well, see, that's just poor staff work right there.
They were taking it apart.
So you had to go. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no power.
No power. So
there was power, but no heat.
No, there wasn't power.
I thought we were running some equipment.
They had that one little
office.
Yeah, one little office, which I had bought one of those heat buddies that I was telling you about, Lou, before. Yeah, and we had one of those in there, and I think they had one too. So we had two in this little tiny room. It was like a sanctuary, but they fed us well, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
they brought us lots of food and stuff.
That's all that counts.
Food is always good.
Yep,
especially when you're working. But yeah, it was extremely cold. We went out through the mill at night. That's where I got my haunted gorilla. So I have one of those.
Did we get much from that one?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. We've done so many investigations; they all kind of blend in, Jim.
Well, let me look here.
But yeah, they had this big plastic bank that was a gorilla.
Oh yeah,
and Leslie and I each got one of those little babies. The funny thing about it is when we did the Corner Theater in where the hell was Cambridge, and I went in the guy's office and it was one of those gorillas.
The Coolidge Corner.
The Coolidge Corner. Yeah. That was a good little investigation.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I'll bet.
Leslie was right on the button on that one as well.
All right, so Jim, how do you hunt EVPs on a site? I've heard tell that you need a specific equipment, or certain recorders or older recorders are better for this than others. Are there better vintage recorders that work better for EVPs than the modern ones?
Well, any recorder will work. The noisier it is, the better, because they figure it's the white noise in a recorder that lets the spirit manifest their voice. One of the more famous ones is a Panasonic DR60, which I think in the late 90s they were selling for under $100. And people started returning them, saying they were using to record lectures and things. And people started returning them saying, hey, we're picking up these other voices on here.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so remember, sell for under 100. Now, if you go on eBay, if you find one, they're around $3,000.
Oh, Lord, huh?
And, you know, everybody told me to get one. So when I finally got, they said you get nonstop EVPs. Well, you do, but it's mostly nonstop, unintelligible EVPs.
So what's the thing with it? Is it just a noisy device?
It's a noisy device, yeah.
Extremely noisy.
Yeah.
And, you know, Steve Parsons thinks it's just part of the squelch circuit that causes things like screams and things like that. But, yeah, and when I do my EVPs, I don't go crazy processing them. I just listen. Maybe I'll slow it down or amplify a section.
And do you use the mic of the device, or are there better mics than others? Or
I use a mic of the device.
Yeah.
And you also always run 2 recorders, right?
Right. I always run 2 as a control because, you know, according to the experts, you're never going to get an EVP on both recorders. It's just going to manifest on one. So if I hear a voice on one of the recorders, I'll listen to the other one at the same time. And if I don't hear the same voice, I know there might be something.
2 of the same type?
No, different types.
Different types, yeah.
Because I can't afford 2 DR60s.
So you don't want them to show up on
you
both
have
recorders?
2 DR60s.
I do. I don't take 2 out at a time.
So they go for now?
$3,000.
3,000, you said, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like there was one case we were at the Victorian Mansion in Gardner, and Clay, Ron Jr., and I were sitting upstairs in the office near the front of the house, I think 3rd floor. And I'm listening on DR60. I hear what sounds like a voice. And I play back my other recorder, and it was Ron Jr. saying, cars going by. And the DR60 did such a bad job picking up his voice. It sounded, you know, otherworldly.
I see. Yeah. So when you say you were listening replay, right? Because you don't hear it live. Right.
Dude, you know, there's one time we did hear something live. Right, Ron? But yeah, you never hear it while you're recording.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was a good one. That was at the Victorian. We were in the master bedroom up top where Enos was a guy that lived there, supposedly died of spontaneous human combustion.
Really?
There was a fire, but of course they wouldn't put that off at that. Anyways,
weren't we going to talk about that last week? Spontaneous human combustion.
We never got there. That was one of the ones we were going to get to. Never did. But anyways, but he was a drinker too, a heavy drinker. So anyway, we were in the bedroom. Everybody that was there except Ron was at the base camp, and I had a little glow-in-the-dark planchette with a nice shot of Jack Daniels on it, and I'm talking to the spirit and say, here's the liquor. It's a lot better than the rock I used to drink. You can just smell it, can't you, Jim? And he said, yeah, I can smell it. And he says, I keep talking. I says, and wouldn't you like some? And then all of a sudden you hear, yeah. Just like it was an audio voice we all heard.
Everybody heard.
And everybody said, what's that? What's that? You get because like you said, Jim runs to record us. Excuse me, Jim. Am I interrupting you?
Yeah, I'm busy.
So did you get it on both recorders, Jim?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. You can actually hear us all react to it because we all heard it. We all react like, what was that?
Yeah, and Lillian and Gonzalez, what was his name? Edward Gonzalez, and you can hear his voice say, "What was that?" And we all heard it so clearly, and yet we were all in the room and everything. It was intriguing. It sounded like it came from the hall. But know, I think we contacted Ron. I said, "Where are you?" And yeah, I was still in the base camp. What's up? It's like, oh, did you hear anything? No. Okay. Which just makes sense because it was so low.
So that's an interesting incident because everybody heard it. Everybody reacted appropriately. I'm assuming the inflection and the timing of it was appropriate.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we actually caught it on the video camera.
We did?
The audio.
Find that.
Video.
I was looking for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that went, but
yeah. The amazing thing is we have so much freaking video. Oh my God. I was looking at the other day and I have so much video, not only from the Ghost Project and all the tapes and everything else we did and discs and everything else, but also from TV appearances and stuff like that. I was going through how much stuff we had. It's like, holy crap. I've been popping some up on Patreon for our Patreon fans, which is kind of neat. I put the Japanese one up there, which was fun.
Well, I was going to ask Jim, how much audio do you typically take out of a visit or out of an investigation? And, you know, how much time does it take you to go through that?
Ooh.
Yeah, I try to keep my EVP session short because you do have to listen to the whole darn thing. And
real time too, really.
Yeah. What they do, you know, it looks so glamorous on these TV shows, you know, Ghost Hunters and stuff. They're not showing. I don't know why someone shut up. They don't show the hours of tedium afterwards where you're actually looking through, like watching 4 video cameras, you know, for hours on end. And like Ron said, you have to do it in real time. You can't go fast forward because you might miss something going by.
Right.
And we're not talking about little lobbies either.
So, yeah. Ron once gave me an hour-long cassette.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Somebody kept saying somebody was coming to them during the night, and I had to listen to like an hour of snoring.
And there was nothing there.
There was nothing there.
I don't know if I'd have the patience.
What are the? I mean, you've had so many good ones. I mean, the last investigation we did up in Wyndham was that one was pretty cool. It was. Do you remember that, Jim?
Yeah. Are you a ghost? No.
No, it's not exactly what it
was. It
was. Hi, I'm Ron Kolek from New England Ghost Project, New England Ghost Project, and I'm here to find out what you want, and something like that. And then you hear, not a ghost. So, because I had introduced myself from the Ghost Project.
All right.
The governor said that. That's where it comes from. See, I like to give the truth. I don't make.
Want to hear it?
You have it?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll listen to that if we can. Hope it's better than the last one.
Don't be like that.
Cut it out, Ron.
That's good to me. Yep.
This is Ron from the New England Ghost Project. I need to know why you are here. What do you want?
Very faint at the end.
Yeah.
Not a ghost.
Play it one more time.
Clear enough that we played it back, we all heard it. Exactly.
This is Ron from the New England Ghost Project. I need to know why you are here. What do you want?
I'm not a ghost. I'm a fucking devil. Oh. Did I drop the F-bomb in the air? Yes, I did.
All right, so this
wait. Not a ghost. Okay.
Yeah.
This brings us to the question about EVPs.
Dropping F-bombs in the air?
Yeah, dropping F-bombs in the air. How many of these do you get?
It was the ghost.
In first listen. That was the intriguing thing about the yes there, that everyone recognized was what instantly. And EVPs famously, you listen to it, and then if you know what it is, it certainly sounds like what it is.
Everybody recognized this, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Yes. We all heard.
All of a sudden, how many was there? Was like 2 from them, or 2 people from the house, plus Leslie, myself, and Jim.
And Clay.
Recognized it. No, Clay wasn't there.
Yeah,
but he was.
No, it was just
green.
It was. He was long gone. He was in Mississippi.
How often does that happen?
This only happened a little while ago, Jim.
What? Are we talking to Victorian or?
Yeah, no, they're not a ghost.
Oh, yeah, that just last.
Whatever. So, anyways, it wasn't that long ago. So, we all heard that clearly. Like he was saying about how the Victorian, when everybody could hear it, but I was saying on EVP when you play it back, everybody heard the same thing at the same time. So it wasn't, oh, here, listen to this. It says not a ghost.
Right. Yeah.
We all said, oh. and that it was.
That was on September 26th is when we had that.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, oh, Jimmy's. and it gets some really couldn't. David was very clear. He got a voice one time, and it was very clear. It said, "David," just something like that.
Yep.
David. And you sometimes, I mean, you honestly, you go through a lot of this, and Jim will tell you this. You go through a lot of it, and there's nothing there, right? I mean, we think we hear things, and we say, "Oh, what's that? What's that?" And when we go back, and Jim says, "No, that's nothing." So, I mean, he's accustomed to it, where he knows what he's looking for.
Here you go. That was David.
Yeah. That was pretty loud, like it was almost right in the recorder. And you could see, who is that you talking in the background, Jim?
Yeah.
That was louder than the main audio.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like someone walked up to the thing and said, "David." So it's weird. I mean, we get these, Jim, you have this, what are they called, screamers?
Yeah, the screams. Let's see if I find one of those.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay. One time Clay and I was sitting at the base of the Portsmouth Lighthouse before the potato chip happened. And
okay,
which you can hear on my Patreon.
Yeah.
We were just talking and had the recorder going doing an EVP, and there was this, I asked a question, this really loud screech came back, scream. And you could tell neither of us heard it because we just kept talking along in the background. But when you play it back, you get this loud, screech.
That's the intriguing thing about it. It's like those you can like the one from David, you could hear it right into the mic, and yet there's nobody there because they're talking normal in the background. So it's like somebody came over. I want to be noticed, So.
All right, so we're doing digital audio these days all the time. Do you ever pull these out and throw them digitally and take a look at what they look like? And
well, that's how I do it. I load them into Audacity.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm at the point now I can look at the waveform and see, oh, there might be something there.
Yeah.
And then zoom in and amplify it. Some people do all kinds of processing, throw it through filters and play it in reverse and speed it up and slow it down. Like I said before, my theory is if the spirit wants to be heard, he'll say it so I can hear it.
Is there any characteristic of the EVPs that look a little different than a regular audio when you're looking at it digitally?
Yeah, usually, other than the David one, they're usually a lot softer because you see all the audio of people talking is about the same level. Then you'll see a little bit.
Yeah, you actually see the video audio, which is great because it's all waves.
I know. I work in it every day, Ron. Yeah.
What are you telling me there,
Lou sort of knows.
I don't know how much EVPs I'm working with,
but I'm talking to our listeners, not just you. Don't get offensive. Wow.
Yeah, you get very skilled at it, Jim, when you're sitting there looking at the digital wave, and you can, pick out breaks, and you can pick out commercials, and you can, there is a visual signature to a lot of this
hosts,
stuff.
I guess.
Plus, what I think also helps is being a pilot. I'm used to having the radio going and it's chatter in the background, and you're not listening really closely, but you will pick up your call sign when it comes out. So what I'll do a lot of times at work, I'll just put the headphones on and play the audio back, and if I see something, I'll just mark it and then go back and investigate it later.
We did some investigation. This isn't quite got to do with the EVPs, but tells how you can research it. We were at Wood Island Lighthouse one time, and we've raised a ton of money for them. We do public ghost hunts for them, and usually it's an island. They bring you in by basically a landing craft, and you walk across the entire island. And the people would spend basically $100 a night to go ghost hunting with us, and then the next morning they would come and pick us up. And but sometimes we'd go in earlier, like the day before, the night before, and do our own private investigation, so we wouldn't, have to deal with the public or anything. Not, we don't love the public. So there was one time that we were there, and Sherry was there from the lighthouse, and I think it was Leslie. Jim, I think you were there too, but we were doing this thing called the Spirit board or something. It's got a little thing.
Oh, Leslie brought that.
Leslie brought it, right. And we do it late at night. It was the end of the night. And it's just screwing around. So let's try this thing. So we did this thing, And we connected with a guy that called himself Scud and said he was a pirate. And he said he had Spanish gold buried. And we're trying to get the location of it. And that was a bitch. We couldn't get the location of it.
Scud the pirate.
Scud the pirate. So when we went back home after the next day, and I think, Jim, you were the one that found out about Scud.
Yeah, there was a Scud. He was a doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Scud Moore was his name.
Something like that, yeah.
Which would make sense that they would call him Scud.
And they have occasionally found gold around Biddeford Pool.
That was the other thing. I found a newspaper article where Spanish gold was found in a field in Biddeford Pool.
Really?
Yeah. So the information we got was fairly accurate. Scudmore was a pirate, a doctor pirate, but he was also hung in Boston, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
He was a doctor pirate.
Yeah.
When you become, when you were captured by the pirates, right?
Yep.
If you signed the thing, then you become a pirate. But you can be a pirate.
You like take an oath or something?
Yeah. And so he had signed this thing, so he was tried as a pirate, even though he was actually captured.
So that was legally binding.
Yeah. It was like a document.
You were liable. Yeah.
So you were liable.
But I think they had a good pension plan.
Really? They can never find out where they freaking hid their funds. But anyway, investigating is a lot of fun, and we do have some. For the most part, we've had some pretty interesting clients. Especially, do you remember the two gay guys up in where the hell it was, Bath or someplace?
I didn't go to that one. That's where the radio fell in the hot tub.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not there's anything wrong with that. We know that, but I
wasn't there.
I thought you were. No, Clay was there. That's right. Yeah, so we gave him a radio to keep in touch with as we did the investigation, and they decided to spend the night in the hot tub, and so did the radio.
Oh God,
I lost it.
Oh God,
could never fix it. Damn. But yeah.
Do you guys think that the ability to leave EVPs or communicate via EVP is a skill of spirit, or does every spirit possess it? Or is it, we know spirits have different skills for different things, like moving things and things like that, right? Yeah.
I would assume so. I don't think everyone would know how to do it.
I still say, I think that movie Ghost is fairly accurate of what the spirit, to me, my own personal opinion, what the spirit world is like, where the guy's on the subway train and he just, Patrick Swayze doesn't know how to move things. The other guy does and kind of shows him how to do it. So I think you have to learn those traits as well. If it, whatever it is, I have no clue. But yeah.
These recorders that you use, generally digital, Jim, or are you still using any analog tape?
No, I use digital.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about going back to analog because
if you really wanted to be diligent and use analog when using analog tape, you should use a new tape every time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could get a little pricey.
Steve and I have been talking about this quite a bit, about going back old school, because they had great results during the tape phases of EVP. Yeah,
like Erlen Babcock got some good ones.
Yeah, it wasn't like they got one word or everything. They really, the beginning, the start of it, they collected whole sentences, paragraphs of talk. If this paragraph is
like he caught one. You hear the voice saying, "This is my dream." I've never caught one that long.
But you can go back to Jurgensen and it's still available on the internet, and he's got hours and hours of tape of spirit communication that's out there, and that was done back in the day when they just had reel to reel and that thing. And Jim, let's talk a little bit about EVPs and some of the work that was done by some of the people. You always talk about that priest. I forget what his name was.
Yes, a Roman Catholic priest who was recording Gregorian chants, and he caught his...
No, not Scud.
Not Scud. No, he actually caught his mother's voice calling him by a name only she called him by.
Interesting.
That was a Roman Catholic priest just recording something else. But there's a lot of work with that. Sarah Estep did a lot. there's so many different experiments. I mean, Karen was part of what, the Big Circle?
Yeah, she was a part of the AAEVP, which is now, I think, A-Trans-C.
Yeah.
Started by Sarah E.
Okay.
Stepp.
It's a free country.
Hmm?
It's okay. Trans-E's a free country. Yep.
Okay. And yeah, they did a lot of work. They had a thing called the Big Circle, where they would set the same time every week to meet and turn their recorders on, and like the same spirits showed up, same things.
Oh wow!
And I know someone, she turned on a recorder once, Carol did, and the voice, first, before she said anything, the voice said, "It's nice to see you."
So it's interesting that perhaps we can interact, but we don't have to do all this baiting and everything else that they do in these ghost hunts.
Provoke the ghosts?
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing, provoke the ghost.
There's it's really intriguing what comes through naturally on just regular devices. I mean,
it's too bad you couldn't do it real time as opposed to.
Oh, yeah. There are attempts right now, and I don't know. I'm not sure of all the new equipment that they're going out with. They're always coming up with something new,
sure.
echo doohickey thingies and whatever. But there's a new experiment. It's not too new, but there's an experiment that you do different recorders in different rooms. I forget what it's called, Jim. This is right up your alley. I don't know it. You take what I think when somebody's in one room, they ask the questions, and the recorders in the other.
Right.
Is there something like that?
Well, that's Karen was involved in that also, where she would be here in New Hampshire, ask a question. Vicky would be in, I think, Washington State with the recorder going, and it would just tell each other, his question being asked now, and Karen would ask it, but Vicky couldn't hear the question. And then they would send the recordings to a third person to analyze it. So nobody knew what was going on. It just like Mark here. So the person analyzing would listen to see what they were getting. They had some good luck getting answers to questions.
Interesting.
Yeah, I find that intriguing.
They called it the fourth cell experiment. I don't know where the fourth cell came in, but
yeah.
So it's not a proximity issue, and it's not a physical issue.
No.
Interesting.
The spirit world is not a location.
I know.
People think of that. They think of hauntings as places of spirits being like stuck there and all this stuff where they're glued or something. I don't know. But I think it's more transient than people believe. I think that a lot of these places are more spirit being there or going there. I don't think it's so much of thing. And we don't know. I mean, we have mediums that tell us stuff, but we really don't know how much of that is real. And be quite honest with you, I am a little bit perturbed at some mediums. I mean, you go to investigation and they say, "Oh, it's this old school," and they say, "Oh, there was a schoolmaster here, and he abused the kids," and they make this whole story about this guy that is dead now, long dead, and cannot defend himself. And yet they would totally destroy his reputation just for the sake of what? If it's true, or not true. We can't prove it. So,
right.
At least if you're alive, you have a chance to go to court. But no, not. You just take somebody's word that this is what it is.
EVPs are a quantifiable thing. They're a recordable, reproducible thing. And being who I am and being an audio engineer too, on top of it, I'm curious about what the mechanism of it is. So taking the proximity out of it and taking the physical manifestation out of it, you could do it like Jim just described in 3 different locations. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Right.
I try to do that on the Facebook. I try to get people to line up to record at the same time, and I would ask questions, but I couldn't get a regular group together. For some reason, I don't know. People don't like doing serious research. They just like cut around, I guess.
Let's go get scared.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is.
You don't, like I said before, the best EVP recorder is the cheapest. You don't need to get studio grade equipment because the theory is it's the white noise generated by the internal circuitry is what they're using to manifest their voice.
Steve has a problem with that. He thinks that if it's an inferior recorder, it's more apt to pick up errant radio waves and so forth. And
that's true.
Yeah, so I don't know.
There was a case where somebody got, they did an investigation at night and they got these singing on their recorder and they were all excited. Next day they went by and they were the house is next to a broadcast tower.
Yeah, well, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
So, when you do an EVP, when I do it, you always have to look at your surroundings, because I like to make sure there's nothing in the environment that's going to sound like an EVP or give a false positive. So I always look around at the environment and see what's going on. And while you're doing an EVP, if somebody coughs or makes a noise, just notate it, right? Just say, Ron coughed. So you know that sound that you just heard is not.
Ron farted.
Yeah, no, that happened.
That happened.
It's funny, this radio group has a tower locally, and we have problems all the time with houses at the tower. And it's like literally the signals coming in on their toasters and their TVs
really?
And everything. Oh yeah, it's like when you're next to the tower, you can just blow into anything at that point. Just so powerful. So yeah, I could see where that would be a problem.
Yeah, it's intriguing, radioactive and electromagnetic waves, what they can do and everything else. I mean, there are thoughts that they can cause delusion to, and especially high EMF. Certainly not good for you, that's for sure.
Well, there's Steve and all his ultrasound, low sound?
Infrasound. There you go.
Thank you.
But I don't remember if you were around there when we started this radio show back on WCCM 100 years ago. We used to have a woman, and we took call-ins all the time. I miss my call-ins. Although you get the same people.
We can do call-in.
But we used to take call-ins at the time, and this woman would always call up, and she would say, I see one-eyed aliens in my kitchen. And she would call up all the time. So finally, I said to her, you know what, young lady, this is what I'm going to do. After the show today, Maury and I are going to go over to your house, and we're going to check out these one-eyed aliens for you.
Yeah. So
we went there. It was in Lawrence, not far from the studio. And we went in, and it was upstairs. So we went up, I think it's 3 flights, a 3-story. And we came in, and in the kitchen was all naughty pine paneling. But I had an EMF meter, and that freaking thing was blaring. She was being inundated with EMF there.
Yeah.
So I could see where it would have effect on her. But yeah, it was ripping.
Find out where it was coming from.
Oh yeah, no, it was like everywhere. I mean, that thing was solid. I mean, at the time I was using the cell sensor, which is not the most accurate thing, but it lights up and makes noise, which is cool. But I went up there, and as soon as I get up to the top of the stairs and walked in, I was like, it was like just thing. And it was just loaded, absolutely loaded with EMF, just pouring into
So where was it coming from? Do you know?
I do not know. But, that would explain why she was seeing one-eyed aliens, to me anyways.
Could
because
be a contributor.
It was, I mean, it's not like it was a little bit. And it wasn't like.
Check the liquor cabinet? That could be a contributor too.
Yeah. It was a nice little old lady. Picking on nice
even more so.
Oh, great.
Isn't the cell sensor the one they rebranded Ghost Meter and doubled the price?
Yeah, they stripped it down and put it in a clear plastic case and called it a Ghost Meter. And then they had the Ghost Meter Pro, which is the coolest one, because it has 4 functions. Regular EMF meter, right? But it also, you can use it for like electronic dowsing. And you can tell if it's, you love this, an ancient ghost.
Ooh.
You use this one setting. Or you can, if you want a recent ghost, you use this other setting. And
a fresh ghost.
Yeah, in addition, freshly dug up.
Any of those stale ghosts hanging around.
So yeah, I mean that's amazing.
Do we get this type of phenomenon with videotapes, Jim?
People have been experimenting in
white noise. I mean,
movie White Noise.
Trans-C. What's it called?
Instrumental Transcommunication.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
ITC.
ITC.
That covers, EVPs, video.
you know, poltergeist. They're here.
Yeah.
The little girl. But yeah, they do get it. They get it. Everything.
Sonia Rinaldi was out of Brazil, was getting these images of supposedly some alien she was conversing with, and she was doing an experiment to try real-time speaking to ghosts, to spirits. She'd take a microphone and put around it speakers, and all the speakers, she called them babble tapes. They were just the basic phonemes of the Portuguese language, you know, like e, o, you know, things like that, all playing randomly. And she supposedly was getting some good results there.
Sort of like when I asked my wife a question. E, o.
These spirits could get involved with cell phones. Would be off and running.
I'm sure they do.
They could try to figure out a way to communicate through cell phones.
Well, I have an example of Vicky Talbot actually has a recording on her answering machine. You can hear her son cutting in.
There's a lot of those, though.
Yeah.
One of the, I mean, it's in our, I think it's our first or second, maybe in our second book, more Ghost Chronicles or Ghost Chronicles, one or the other. But there was an investigation we did in Salem, New Hampshire. And it was this old house, and there was actually another medium there from Spiritual's church, and Maureen had picked up on this girl and everything else.
The church had a medium? She was a church medium?
The Spiritual's church has all mediums.
Oh.
That's what it is. It's a mediumistic-based religion.
Okay.
Yeah, where they speak to the dead all the time. But anyways, yeah, Maureen had picked up on this girl that was there. Little girl, I forget her name. I have to say, we'll call it Sarah for short. And this medium says, no, there's no Sarah there. And the homeowner said, no, we've done the work in the house. There's no Sarah ever located to it and everything else. So that was that. I mean, we did the experiment, the investigation. It's in the book. You can read all about it. But afterwards, probably a couple of weeks later, I got a call from the owner of the house, the female, and she says, Ron, it was on a recording. She says, Ron, can you call me back and listen to the answer machine? I said, sure. So I called it back, and when you play the answer machine, you know how you have the greeting, hi, this is Ron, I'm not here now, too bad you missed me.
Digital or tape?
I can't remember at that time. Yep. All right. So you hear that message there, but in the background, you hear a little girl's voice, and it says, if you go across the street, follow the wall, down by the river, by the big oak tree, you'll find me, something like that. It was out very close to me. And when you did that, there was a grave of a little girl named Sarah there.
Good Lord.
Yep. Yeah. And so I was like amazed at it. And I called Maureen up. I says, here, we talked about the message. She says, oh, did you hear back from me? I did. I says, do me a favor. Call this number and let the answer machine play. And she did. And she's like, oh, my God. Because that was, right, what she said, pretty much about the girl named being Sarah or something. I can't remember the name. I'm using that for a sake. But, yeah, I mean, it's intriguing stuff. I remember, way back in the day, there was a woman who her husband died, and she had an answering machine. And back then they had the what's the one that could only hold so many messages. Do you remember that one? I forget what it's called, but it could only hold X number of messages, say 20 or 30, right? And she had it in the closet, and it wasn't even connected to the phone. And she came out, she took it out of the thing, and she saw that tape or whatever had run out, and she started playing it. And it was all these freaking numbers from all over the country. And when she looked like she investigated some of the numbers, they were like from dead people. The people weren't there anymore. Wow. Yeah. So it was pretty weird. There was like 100 of them. It was like 99, I think she said it was.
So these dead people are calling this answering machine that's in a closet disconnected. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a Twilight Zone episode.
That was like 100 years ago. I can't even remember. My God, so much stuff that I've done over the years.
But yet the answering machine wasn't plugged in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we get that a lot of times. And Jim, I mean, the ITC. Wasn't it the two scientists, the guy that actually was the pioneer of ITC actually died and then came in through for another scientist that he was working with, and he came through with TB? I'm pretty sure on that one. Yeah. So there's one of the founders of ITC who I have no clue who it is.
I would think that'd be part of the contract, wouldn't it?
And
so he's going to come back. Yeah.
Basically came back with it. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. But it's amazing stuff. Any other cool investigations that you would stick out in your mind with a NEGP? Or even before?
What?
Even before, when you used to just hang out with us.
Oh, remember the 1815? Was it 1859 house?
Yeah, that was a cool place.
In Methuen?
We said bring it in, and
reel them in,
and then Maureen.
Yes, that was.
Well, Freetown Forest was great.
Was that the one that was in the basement? I remember a story with Maureen in the basement.
Yeah, that's three stories down in this bowling alley in a basement.
That was my first investigation with you guys. It was one of the paid events.
Yeah,
but Freetown State Forest.
Yeah. Dan Parson was there too, God bless his soul. Yeah. Go ahead, Freetown State Forest.
That was good with the puckwudgies.
That was excellent.
And you've probably seen that. There's a video on YouTube of Maureen getting controlled or taken over or whatever.
Yeah. But there's even one that happened twice that night. One was the first time was probably the most amazing. And there I am I got her in a full Nelson rolling on the ground with her.
Yeah, I have the video.
I have the video too.
But it was funny.
There's two. The second one is on YouTube. That was actually in a book called Picture Yourself Ghost Hunting by Chris Balzano. But the first one was with Dan was there, and he picked up the face from Scream or whatever it is. Remember in this video camera?
You know that very famous painting, The Scream?
Yeah.
Yes.
And where Dan has the thermal camera.
Which is no cheap thermal camera. It was the one used by the fire department.
Yeah, it is. So it was a really good one. Yeah. So it was only black and white, but the whole forest was white because it's still giving off the heat of the day. And while we're walking down this road, Dan keeps seeing this black form walking through. And they'll go away. Probably want renew my car insurance, car warranty. And we have a video. We used a handy cam to videotape the thermal cam, and you can see this face forming. And just as it forms, Maureen gets hit.
Oh,
it jumps into her. Yeah.
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 So the face coalesced. It wasn't there, and it just kind of formed. Wow.
Yeah, and it jumps through and of course,
see, I love Maureen, but she scares the living hell out of me.
Yeah, and of course, I challenge her to thing without and so forth. Jim decided to leave us, but
give me the primer on the puckwuggies, because I know we've talked about them before.
Yeah, they're just creatures, mythical creatures.
Oh, these phone calls.
That's what happened when you work, you know.
I know.
But the interesting thing about that one is, like I said, honest to God, I had a full Nelson on the ground with her on top of me. Yeah. And I had just had my heart operation too, where, every freaking ribbon, my chest is cut open because it was before they did it the other way anyway. So
you were trying to restrain her?
Oh, yeah.
What was she trying to do that you...
She gets wicked strong when this happens.
I imagine, yeah.
Yes.
So we just try to get... Don't let us interrupt you, Jim.
That was Sue.
Yeah, we know. Figure that out.
I only got 30 seconds before we have to wrap anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyways, Jim, thanks for joining us today. And
anytime.
Adding that special bit on Patreon. And today's show is brought to you by Circles of Wisdom, 386 Merrimack Street in Methuen, Massachusetts, and the Gallant Messier Family Law Group, 15 High Street, North Andover, Massachusetts. And our very good friends on Patreon who help bring you this show and so much more. If you're not a Patreon member, go to Ghost Chronicles Radio on Patreon and sign up, and you can see exclusive material like Jim talking about Clay that no one else can see. So there you go. Good night and God bless everyone. Thanks, Jim.
Yep. Bye.
From goalies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.